Live in.
Welcome to the Ben Shapiro Lite Show. As you may have noticed, I'm not Ben Shapiro, but I'm pretty close. I'm just not as successful, young, or smart. Wait, did I just say I'm not as smart as someone? Who writes this crap? Cut, let's do that again. Okay, take two. Let me know when you start filming. Welcome to the Ben Shapiro Lite Show. I'm your host, Ely Loew, and as you may have noticed, I'm not Ben Shapiro. However, I'm pretty close. Just not as successful, young, maybe not as smart, and not as Jewish or as conservative. Basically, I'm a poor man's Ben Shapiro. So today, I'm going to be talking about moderates and what that actually means, things I love and things I despise, and also lay out the case for why Jon Stewart must run for office. It's going to be a great show. I'm excited to get started, but first, a word from our sponsors. Unfortunately, I don't have any yet. Looking at you, sponsor number one. So I have no choice but to promote my own product. So if you head over now to patreon.com/Ely Loew 2040, that's the less common ways to spell both the first name and the last name. So patreon.com ELYLOEW 2040, that's a year, the year I'm running for president, and sign up for our $1 a month or $1 per video tier. Then you will get this free, high quality, very beautiful, very amazing to write with pen that has written on it, Ely Loew, U.S. Presidential Candidate. Not every day you get a pen directly from a U.S. presidential candidate, with the link to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ely Loew 2040. So quite a great deal there. I won't mention which company I got them from, because I'm hoping they recognize their own pen and offer to sponsor future videos. Yep, that's right. No free promotion from this capitalist. No sirree. Okay, enough with the self-promotion. Let's get on with the show. You might have noticed that our current U.S. political environment is pure brutal, partisan word war, in that each side despises the other and will not stop until they see their enemies bloody and defeated before them. Every little mistake is seen as an evil against the American people, every small victory seen as proof that the party is ordained by God to save mankind, or whatever the left thinks determines moral superiority. Just saying. And it just makes me really uncomfortable, especially because I don't adhere strictly to the left or right political views. So does that make me, and I know it's a very dirty word, especially in politics, a moderate? No, I refuse to be called a moderate because I am actually very passionate believer in my own political views. But that being said, I can't really claim loyalty to either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. They both strike me as too extreme. So what about those of us who kind of straddle the middle? What if we don't think Trump is a crazy racist, but we do think he's a little bit stupid and a jerk most of the time? What if we're religious, but think the government should help out the poor a little bit more, that the government has a role there, maybe through better educational programs? What about atheists that actually think Israel should have its own sovereignty accepted as a starting point for negotiation with its neighbors? What about people who hold positions that sit strongly within both parties, depending on the issue? Who will be the voice of the purple voter? The left has most of the media, Hollywood, Jimmy Kimmel, and some people who are actually funny, like Stephen Colbert and Trevor Noah. The right has Fox News, Rush Limbaugh, Ben Shapiro, who's often quite funny, and then super uptight people like Ann Coulter. But the purple state swing voter has no one. Until now. That's right, indecisive voter, you moderate man or woman working to navigate the insanity of U.S. party politics, you genuine American who just wants to read your paper in the morning and go to work, feed your kids breakfast and take them to school, and just hope and pray nothing terrible happens. You, a true American, who will be your voice? I will. That's right, I, Ely Loew, will be the voice of moderation in an insane, political climate. Since moderate views vary so much, we probably won't agree on anything, but at least we can be civil and respectful. At least we can recognize in each other the common, truly American value, the desire to have our views be our own and to be able to speak them without getting those views bucketed into only one of two buckets, or even worse, to be labeled racist or bigot or homophobic. Now, to be fair, Ben Shapiro, who I mentioned before, he does take a more moderate view, incredibly conservative, but he doesn't get caught in the hype of an issue and tends to take a step back and take a more objective view, which is a perfect segue into our next segment, Things I Love and Things I Despise. So, if it wasn't obvious yet, I love Ben Shapiro. I don't think I can agree with all his political positions, but I think as a human being, he's an incredibly moral and genuine religious man. He's also a model family man, and he's got 2 kids that are nearly the same age as my own 2 kids. And I didn't even mention his incredibly intelligent analysis of US politics that has now become a necessary part of my daily routine. As the saying goes, imitation is the highest form of flattery, and I've just dedicated an entire section of my YouTube channel to trying to imitate him. And if that's not love, I don't know what is. Also, please don't sue us for copyright. And another man I love, genuinely love, is a YouTuber I've been following for nearly 10 years now, Philip DeFranco. Also a family man with 2 kids, nearly the same age as my own. DeFranco is the best news show online, at least for anyone under 35. I don't really know what people over 35 do. And I joked earlier about being the voice of moderation, but to be honest, DeFranco already is doing that and is already the voice of moderation when it comes to political news shows. So I'm going to move on now to things I despise, genuinely despise. But first, another word from our sponsors, which, again, is myself. At this point, I'm my own best friend. So, have you ever wanted to personally meet a presidential candidate and discuss anything from policy, religion, philosophy, or anything else about life? Well, now you can, because for a donation of only $5,000, I will personally come visit you anywhere in the world and take you out, treat you to the nicest lunch or dinner, and an incredibly intellectually stimulating 2-hour conversation. That's right, doesn't matter where you live, I will buy a plane ticket to your city, pick the nicest Michelin 2-star restaurant, and we can just talk imano imano, man to man, man to woman, for 2 hours straight. And guaranteed it will be the most intellectually stimulating conversation of your life, but with the caveat that I get to determine the level of the stimulating conversation. Also, can we put some asterisks on this deal? Something like terms and conditions apply. I can't actually go to any country. I heard there's some real shithole countries out there. Anyway, limited spots open for this offer. So don't waste time. Message me right away on YouTube or DM me on Twitter. DM me, bro, at the handle at Ely Loew 2040 to arrange the details. Also, I do accept Bitcoins, so Bitcoin's also accepted. Okay, so back to things I despise. And often in these videos, I kind of take a joking attitude, but when it comes to things I despise, I have to be deadly serious. Because something that I genuinely despise is unnecessary human suffering. So human suffering that is inflicted on people by other people. And that's especially true when it comes to children. So I have to kind of spread some awareness about an issue that DeFranco highlighted in his January 26th video. I've linked to it both on my end screen, my YouTube cards, and in the links below. But he highlights that at the end of these videos, how the US government was complicit in supporting an Afghani cultural practice of child sexual abuse. And I hope the specific people responsible for making those decisions get called out and punished severely. But I think it's important as U.S. citizens that everyone is aware of this issue. And I also think that the way DeFranco handled it was incredibly fair, incredibly objective, quoted all his sources, and also he very much was not blaming the military men and women who sacrificed their lives to be there. So I feel like the way DeFranco approached it was the only way and the best way to approach it. So I would strongly recommend, as a follow-up, that everyone watch that video. I think it's something that we as U.S. citizens need to be aware of, and it should be a factor and a higher priority than these things usually are in the way we vote in upcoming elections. Now, moving on to our last segment, back to kind of the more lighthearted nature of this show, I wanted to talk a little bit about the 2020 election. I am a gambling man sometimes because I'm also a religious man and I'm not supposed to really gamble. But I do have $50 down at, I think, 2-to-1 odds or 7-to-4 odds or something, that Trump will win the 2020 election. And I'd really rather he didn't. But the Democrats don't have a single inspirational and intelligent figure who could challenge him, especially if the economy keeps going as strong as it has been. It would take another financial crisis before 2020 for it to have any impact on Donald Trump's re-election chances. And I've spent hours, and I'm talking about hours, analyzing every Democratic governor, congressman or woman, senator, celebrity, and local politicians. And the only conclusion I could come to is that there is no one except Jon Stewart. So bring in camera 3, and I'm going to have a little chat with Mr. Stewart. Okay, Mr. Stewart, I know you always say that you're just a Canadian, but we all know that's not true. You know the power you have over us, the simple American TV viewer. In your heyday, you were the smartest person on television. Remember when you went on Crossfire and you just eviscerated the hosts? Those were the good old days, right? That was a thing of beauty. Or even when Trump was running, how you mocked the press for their obsession with him. You understood the dangerous consequences of that. You saw past the self-congratulatory self-righteousness that the media crowned themselves with and mocked them viciously for the fools that they were. You are not just a comedian, Mr. Stewart. You are a man of the people, a true hero. You're also a white male, which tends to help in presidential elections. Take a step back and consider this. I am a moderate who leans conservative, begging you to run against Trump in 2020. I don't even agree with you half the time. Now imagine how much more deeply, just imagine, the cries for a savior are coming from those who truly agree with you. The visceral cries of desperation, begging for someone, anyone, to bring order and sanity back to our world. You are the chosen one, Mr. Stewart. Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are our only hope. Only you can stop Forrest Trump. How many more lame movie reference puns will it take for you to run for president? How many, John? How many? So what do you say, Mr. Stewart? Will you make America sane and civil again? Look, we know you have a family and a pretty great life. But why can't you think of the greater good? Will you not think of the America your children will have to live in? Please, Mr. Stewart, we need you. Why won't you run? Because I know you won't. But why? Well, are you chicken? Are you chicken, Mr. Stewart? A walk, 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 walk. you afraid? You little... Actually, I can't throw that. I can't afford to replace it. Little sissy. Please, Mr. Stewart. Please, John. For all of us, please, please, please run for president. I'm okay. I'm right. You're okay. You're okay, Mr. Stewart. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry. I don't know what got into me. Colbert was funnier than you during the writer's strike anyway. No, okay. All right, that was the last thing. I'm done. Thank you, John. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. You're safe. I won't bother you again. Okay, America. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching the first episode of the Ben Shapiro Lite Show. I enjoy having many more such shows with you moving on into the future. In the meantime, please be safe. Please try not to hate anyone, despite what their political views may be. And you'll be hearing from me again very shortly.